All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're unlocking what I like to call the secret language of corporate diplomacy. Have you ever wondered how top executives manage to deliver bad news, assign heavy workloads, or critique a project without ever sounding like they're attacking you personally? Well, spoiler alert, it's not magic, it's grammar. Specifically, the advanced passive voice. By the time we wrap up this explainer, you're going to be equipped with a linguistic toolkit that literally transforms raw emotional office communication into bulletproof professional armor. Let's get into it. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the executive context, move into modal passives and impersonal reporting, take a quick detour through the error clinic, and finish up with a fun little transformation game. Okay, Section 1, the executive context, surviving corporate warfare. Let's be totally honest here. Modern corporate life can sometimes feel like an actual battlefield. The sheer volume of raw, direct communication we have to deal with every single day is, well, it's incredibly stressful. Now take a look at this quote. It comes directly from shared experiences in corporate culture forums, and man, it perfectly captures the anxiety of that morning inbox. Waking up to a flood of direct, active voice emails, it can honestly feel like a personal attack before you've even had a sip of your coffee. Because when messages are written in a raw, active voice, things like, I need this, you missed this deadline, or you need to fix this, they trigger a very real stress response. And this brings us to exactly why the passive voice matters so immensely in a business center environment. On the left side here, we have that raw emotional reaction. You ruined my day with this email. See, it's packed with the I and the you. It's direct conflict. But on the right, we have the corporate equivalent. This task must be reviewed. By using the passive voice, we completely remove those emotional subjects. We create distance. We create objectivity. Basically, the passive voice takes the heat right out of the room. Navigating office etiquette is honestly like learning a secret language. People use polite, coded phrases to hide what they're really thinking and, maintain professional boundaries. When a colleague writes per my last email, we all know what they really mean, right? But to truly master this corporate slang and elevate your communication to an executive level, well, relying on cliches just isn't enough. You actually need structural grammatical power. Which brings us to Section 2, the mechanism, modal passives. Drawing directly from the curriculum of the B2 Modulo 5 toolkit, this right here is your primary weapon for corporate diplomacy. It's essentially just a math equation. You take your subject, which, remember, is the thing being acted upon, not the person actually doing it. You add a modal verb like must, should, or can. Then you add the base verb be, and finally, the past participle. It is beautifully simple, yet it's incredibly effective at completely stripping away any blame. So the crucial point to understand is how this actually changes the whole tone of your message. Take a look at these examples. This system must be implemented. The document should be checked. Or simply, this needs to be done. Do you notice what's missing there? There is absolutely no I and no you. There is literally nobody to get mad at. By combining modals with the passive voice, we remove that emotional subject and create a tone of absolute objective authority. It's no longer me telling you what to do. It's simply what must be done. Let's anchor this in a real-world executive context. This quote is inspired by a recent report on artificial intelligence in financial business centers in Slovakia. AI and related technologies must be implemented. Notice how it doesn't say the IT department needs to implement AI, which kind of sounds like a bossy demand. Instead, the modal passive makes it sound like a strategic, inevitable business imperative. It completely elevates the text from just a simple instruction to a high-level corporate mandate. All right, moving right along to Section 3, the advanced form, impersonal reporting. Now, if modal passives are your daily shield, impersonal reporting is your executive fortress. Impersonal reporting is a structure used to state facts, beliefs, or news without identifying a specific speaker. Think of this as the ultimate corporate whisper. It allows you to deliver high-stakes information. We're talking market changes, company rumors, or restructuring plans without ever having to take personal ownership of the statement. To put this into perspective, compare everyday workplace gossip with an objective corporate report. Saying, people say that AI reshapes daily financial tasks sounds, well, pretty informal. It's chatty. But shifting that to, it is said that AI reshapes daily financial tasks instantly makes it bulletproof. Using that it is plus past participle plus that structure, it instantly adds a layer of undeniable professionalism. And we can also use this with specific subjects. Structures like he is expected to resign, she is said to be stepping down, or they are thought to have secured the contract are absolutely essential. They allow you to discuss sensitive personnel changes or industry rumors without assigning blame, making direct accusations, or crucially revealing your sources. It's quite literally the highest level of corporate diplomacy. Now for Section 4, Troubleshooting, the Error Clinic. Mastering all of this definitely takes practice, especially for B2 English learners where native sentence structures very often favor the active voice. And a huge trap here is clinging to those active structures. Like in a casual setting, saying, "We can tackle this after the holidays" is perfectly fine. But in a highly formal, multinational business center, direct translations like that can sound a bit unpolished. Shifting to "this can be tackled after the holidays" applies that nice layer of corporate polish, softening the statement and entirely removing the personal obligation. Here is another major pitfall: direct word order. In a lot of languages, saying "Peter became seriously ill" is just standard. It's normal. But in English corporate diplomacy, bluntness can sometimes be mistaken for a total lack of tact. Using an impersonal passive instead, something like "it was reported that Peter fell ill," creates a respectful, professional distance when you're dealing with sensitive personnel issues. So, just to summarize our error clinic, the 3 big mistakes you absolutely want to avoid are clinging to those active native structures that completely destroy your formal tone, misplacing the past participle when you're building your formulas, and failing to use impersonal reporting when you really need absolute objectivity. Just avoid these 3 things and your executive context will remain absolutely flawless. All right, Section 5, the climax, the transformation game. Okay, it is time to put everything we've talked about into practice. We are going to take some raw, emotional office banter and actively transform it into elegant, diplomatic memos. Here is your quick 3-step formula for the game. First, you identify the emotional trigger in the active sentence. Second, brutally remove the I or the you. Just get rid of it. Third, apply either a modal passive or an impersonal reporting structure to rebuild the sentence with that corporate polish. You ready? Let's play. First scenario. You receive a document that is an absolute mess. The raw, frustrated email in your head says, "You didn't format this correctly." Great. It's aggressive, it's sarcastic, it's a disaster. Let's transform it. We remove the you, we apply an impersonal structure. The result? It is required that this document be properly formatted. I mean, notice how much more diplomatic that sounds. You've corrected the behavior without ever actually attacking the person. Let's move on to our next example. You're ending a meeting early. People so often use that tired, slightly patronizing corporate cliche, "I'm giving you back the gift of time." Oh, let's cure that. Remove the I, apply the passive. It has been decided to conclude the meeting early. Boom. It's clean, it's professional, and it doesn't sound like you're doing them some fake favor. And here is the final, ultimate transformation. The classic office meltdown. Someone sends you a massive task that just isn't your job. Your brain is literally screaming, "You ruined my whole day by sending this outside my job description." Let's use our shield here. It is believed that this assignment must be reassigned. Absolute perfection. You've successfully deflected the work, maintained your professional boundaries, and honestly, sounded like a CEO while doing it. The advanced passive voice is so much more than just a grammar lesson you need to pass a B2 test. It really is your corporate shield. It's an absolutely essential survival tool for the modern, multinational business center. It protects your energy, it maintains your professionalism, and it elevates your status in any executive context you find yourself in. You now have the toolkit. You know the exact formula. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. The next time your inbox spikes your stress levels, don't react with emotion. React with structure. What message will you transform tomorrow? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.